Happy Wednesday Toons. It is February 2nd, 2022.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Right?
We are on episode number, what is this, 30?
35.
35. It is going to be the greatest episode ever. The greatest episode yet. Stay tuned, okay? Stay tuned. TOONED.
Capital.
Capital TOONED, because we have an interview, okay, that you do not want to miss. I don't even know if I should say it yet because it's coming up later in the show, but people need to stay tuned because, well, Annie, why don't you just tell everybody who the interview's with?
Shall I announce it?
Announce it.
Okay, everyone. So we did an interview regarding the new Sellbot Taskforce expansion. And we were lucky enough to interview Joey Ziolkowski, the creative director of Toontown Rewritten, and also the project director of the Sellbot Taskforce expansion.
That is quite a title.
That is quite a title.
Let me tell you something. I have a couple of titles myself, but nothing that impressive.
Right. That is very impressive.
That is extremely impressive.
I would just like to say Joey and all of the staff did a wonderful job with this update.
They really
it's
did.
Huge.
Some of the people listening in might know Joey Ziolkowski as Joey Zio.
Joey Zio, Joey Z.
Joey Z. By the way, Zio in Italian means uncle. So, we could call him Uncle Joey.
Uncle Joey.
Right? Why not?
Why not? So, so you guys want to stay tuned the rest of this episode because that's coming up in a few minutes.
That's coming up in a few minutes. But what do we got? I'm sure we get, as people know, we do get a lot of comments. We get emails. We get all sorts of stuff. Annie, read a few comments.
Let me read a couple of comments. So we posted a picture that was actually taken during the interview. And Hypnobug says, "What a jolly lad."
They must be talking about me because I did the big smile, right?
Yes.
Yeah. With the selfie.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, here we go. Cool Blue JG says, "Wow, that flunky is a very cool collection for Toontown fans."
Talking about our big...
our very big merch reveal.
Right? Mm-hmm. Our big Toontown Online merch
Which,
reveal.
if you haven't seen, you should go check it out. We got the flunky bobblehead.
The videos on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, I think, right?
Yes, which, by the way, if you guys don't follow our Instagram, it's Podcast Rewritten. Our Twitter, actually, just go to our Instagram, click the link tree, and all of our social media is there.
They follow. Everybody follows us.
On Twitter, Treetop Legend says, "Football Toon is an incredible fellow. One time he got me a life-size statue of Duckington Finch to put in my room. Now I don't feel so lonely at night anymore."
That's hysterical.
Yep,
that's hysterical.
That's great.
Can you imagine a life-size statue of Duckington Finch?
I can.
I would, always be waiting for it to sing that song. "Hey, Toon, what you gonna do?" That he has on
That's
YouTube.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Yep.
I love it.
Carl's says, "Awesome pictures," regarding the pictures of us during the interview.
Nice.
And Rosie says, "I've been binge listening to Podcast Rewritten this week. I'm on episode 12 now."
Ooh, episode 12. She's got a little bit of a way to go. She might be caught up by now.
Maybe. So those are our comments.
Fantastic. Let's see here. So, even though they just rolled out the big Sellbot update, and we got amazing insight into that, and that interview's coming right up. January 21st, some news was released. Doodles are coming quickly.
Yep.
Right? So now apparently there's a whole bunch more doodles. What's going on with that?
So, yes, there is a whole bunch more doodles, like you said.
Yeah.
So there's a brand new feature with the doodles, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you can still only have one doodle. But, so, for those of you who don't know, there's a website called Toon HQ.
Right.
That shows current invasions, the time remaining in the invasions.
Yes.
But they added a new feature.
A new feature.
For doodles. So you can actually see what doodles are currently in the pet shop that they have in stock. You can see what district they're in. You can see what playground they're at, how many beans they cost.
What's the thing I'm actually taking a look at it right now, and next to some of them it says like score 12, score 8, score 9. What's that? Do you know what that is? Do you have to be like a certain laugh before you can buy certain doodles, or can you just buy any doodle?
So I'm pretty sure that means like they're more powerful.
Oh, gotcha.
Like, because it says they're traits.
Oh, yes, gotcha.
Like, the ones from Toontown Central
right.
get like more confused.
Gotcha. So
like they have worse traits.
So I'm taking a look at this one particular doodle found in Donald's Dreamland in Kaboom Cliffs. Rarely tired, always affectionate, rarely lonely, rarely sad.
What playground is it from?
It just says Donald's Dreamland.
So the ones in Donald's Dreamland, they're more expensive because they're better in battle.
Well, it's 4,070 beans, and this doodle makes my doodle look like a hamster, okay? Because my doodle, and I think I've talked about this before. What's my doodle's name again?
Tablespoon?
Tablespoon. Tablespoon is useless, okay? And, I hate to say it because I'm an animal lover, but Tablespoon... I know I'm going to get a lot of pushback for this. Right. Someone's going to call it PETA, but Tablespoon might have to go back to the pet shop.
Oof. See, that's what I had to do with Blizzard. Blizzard was just useless.
Yeah.
Now I have Quesadilla, and it's like smooth sailing.
Tablespoon, I call him sometimes in battle. I'm like, tune me up. And he gives me a stupid look, and that's it. Question mark. And he's gone.
You see... And for those of you who don't know, like I said, you can call your doodle into battle, but I wouldn't personally buy a doodle from Toontown Central. I would go with one from Donald's Dreamland.
Because they're better. Well, I must have gotten one from Toontown Central, and maybe he's I don't know, maybe something's up with him. Maybe I got to send him back. Maybe I got to put a little bit more time into him. I've put a lot of time into him.
Yeah, because the more you train them, the better they will be in battle.
Right. So anyway, there are tons of new doodles. Everybody go out. If you don't already have a doodle, go get a new doodle. Pick one out. Go to the Toon HQ thing website. Sometimes you're better off sad. There's too many doodles, just a passing fad. Beans of energy, too unstable, bouncing off walls and jumping on tables. That's my doodle rap as seen on
the Toontown Rewritten site.
Toontown Rewritten news site. There it is.
Love it.
Thank you.
Love it.
So, do you think we should just get right, into the interview? You think people have waited long enough, or have you got anything else to say?
I think we should make them wait one more second.
Let's just make them wait one more second.
I wanted to talk about one thing.
What do you want to talk about?
So something happened recently on Toontown. Dream. There's a streamer called Dream Was Taken.
And he's got how many?
Near 6 million followers.
6 million followers
on Twitch.
Yeah.
And so he did like a 36-minute stream recently.
Everyone's talking about this.
Everyone's talking about this. Yeah, he played Toontown for like 36 minutes. He did a battle. There was like tons of people.
Right. Huge.
His species was a green crocodile.
He was a green crocodile, and he had made that character up fresh, right?
Yeah.
For the stream. Yeah.
So once he got off stream, like there was people doing fan art, and it was just insane.
I'm a little bit jealous, maybe.
Maybe just a little.
Maybe a little. Yeah.
It was cool though. I mean, somebody that
people are still talking about it.
I've seen people still talking about it.
I heard that President Biden made some kind of announcement about it. About Dream streaming Toontown Rewritten.
That's how big it was.
It was huge. Enormous. Huge. And I did actually watch a little bit of that stream, and he had some problems in game. They were
he didn't know the strategy.
He didn't know the strategy. And then once people found out that he was streaming, of course, everybody went to the same district he was in, and they crowded around him.
There were beans, which was nice.
There was bean fest galore. It was just a good time.
Well, I think we should get into the interview now.
Let's get to the interview. Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Zio talks about the
Sellbot Taskforce expansion.
Excellent. Enjoy, everybody.
Can you hear us?
Hey, yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Hi everyone. So we're here with Joey Ziolkowski, the creative director of Toontown Rewritten and the project director for the Sellbot Taskforce expansion. And we just wanted to thank you for being here with us again.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. Always happy to be on the podcast, especially to talk about this really big update.
Yeah, it's been very exciting stuff. And thank you and all of your wonderful staff for all the stuff that's been going on lately. There's been lots of awesome updates, the Silly Summer update, the Sellbot Task Force expansion. So how's the weather in Pittsburgh?
It is very cold and very snowy, but things are nice here. I enjoy the Pittsburgh area a lot.
Yeah, I've been seeing that there's been lots of snow up east. And you know what? Surprisingly, we've been getting lots of snow here as well. It's been very crazy down
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Well, hopefully spring will come soon.
Yeah, hopefully. So, lately we have been getting, we get lots of emails, lots of questions, things of that nature. And lately our biggest concern has been the Sellbot Task Force expansion. So I kind of wanted to just jump right into the questions, if that's okay with you.
Go for it. I'd love to talk about it.
Okay, so question number one is, whose idea was it to resurrect the Sellbot field offices?
Yeah, so it's hard to really say whose idea it was because everything that we work on as a team is the combination of so many ideas from so many people. Like even down to the smallest details that you see in the update can often be attributed to like multiple people working on an idea together. I guess like the very first place that it originated was all the way back in 2015. I think shortly after we hosted our very first Toon Fest, I pitched an idea to our team about how we could recreate Sellbot field offices to take over Toon headquarters. And that was pretty much the whole idea. There wasn't really the idea of like taking away gag tracks yet or the boiler. It was just this idea of, hey, people didn't love Sellbot field offices in the original Toontown Online. So what could we do to make them more exciting? And
Wow.
that's where the pitch started from. And it wasn't until like 2017 where we really got rolling and started developing more on that concept.
Right. So that leads me to my next question. How many people worked on the update as a whole, and how long did it take to complete?
Yeah, geez. Think it's somewhere around 50 to 60 people worked
Wow.
on the update by the end of it. And that's over the course of about 4 years. Now,
Wow.
4 years, it's not like we were working on only that update in that time. Like there were times that we took a break and worked on stuff like the Silly Meter or Crash Cash Bot. There were a lot of different things released during that period. But of course, Sellbot Field Offices was always the main thing that we would work on and off and always come back to. So yes, somewhere like less than 4 years, but somewhere in that range is about how long it took to complete. And yeah, there were tons and tons of people who worked on it over the course of development.
Wow, I had no idea. That's so many people.
For sure.
Question number 3. What has been the best and most common feedback you've gotten so far concerning the Sellbot field offices?
Honestly, we have gotten so much great feedback. Like I couldn't be happier with the way that people have responded to this, because one of our worries going into releasing Sellbot field offices is we know that it had been a really long time since we first talked about them. And, honestly, we kind of regretted talking about them so soon because we learned so much and the update expanded in so many ways throughout the course of its development. And so we were worried about if it was going to live up to the hype.
Right.
And thankfully, as most people that you ask, they say, yeah, they love it. And it was worth the wait, which is just really satisfying to see.
It definitely was worth the wait.
I'm glad to hear that. So, I honestly don't have a specific piece of feedback that I would say is like the best piece of feedback. I just love seeing everyone's ideas about ways to expand field offices, ways to improve them, like make them better. And it's stuff we're all listening to. We monitor every single feedback message that comes in either through email or our hub Discord, and even in places beyond that. And we keep track of it all. And we've been talking a lot about ways to address some of the ways that people think the update could be improved, especially because this was an expansion that changed like it didn't just add Sellbot field offices, it changed a lot about the game. It rebalanced some of the gags, it added in like the new battle GUI, all sorts of things like that. So we're actually working on right now putting together a lot of the things that people want to see addressed, things like version 2.0 changes and like the removal of carryover damage. We're working on like updating the boiler boss a little bit to make him a bit smarter and make the battles more fun so that as you play them, it doesn't become repetitive and stuff like that. So yeah, all sorts of great stuff in the works. And right now we're really just really intently listening to what everyone is saying and what we can do to make people enjoy the update even more.
Right. I love that, Joey. So personally, I feel like on the district page, ever since the release of the update, I've seen a little bit of a traffic increase since the update. Have you
For
all
sure.
noticed a bit of a traffic increase?
Yeah, I mean, it's been so great because we have seen a whole lot of older players come back to Toontown Rewritten, like people who haven't played in years coming back to the
Definitely.
game. And at the same time, we've also seen a lot of brand new players, people who are discovering Toontown Rewritten for the first time
Yes.
as a result of the attention that Sellbot Taskforce has gotten us. There were a couple like kind of high profile press websites that wrote articles about us, which was really exciting and really great to see.
Yeah, I noticed
'Cause-
that. Yeah.
Yeah, because honestly, that's what it's all about. It's about keeping Toontown alive and making sure that this game is, it's almost 20 years old now. In 2023, it'll be turning 20 years old.
Wow.
And we want to see it turn 30 years old. We want to keep it alive for as long as we can. And we do that by releasing great content like this that breathes new life into the game. So there's definitely been a traffic increase. And I want to give a huge shout out to our programmers as well as our technical operations team, because, as players, you don't often think about how more traffic to a game actually means more work for us, because we have to fix the bugs that come with that. We have to make sure our servers are stable. It costs more money to support more players. And the team is working practically 24/7 behind the scenes to make sure that everyone has the smoothest gameplay experience possible. We all get frustrated when you get disconnected from a battle or a boss fight or something like that. But think about the times that you don't get disconnected and all the times that you've played that you've had a smooth experience. That is very much thanks to our programming and technical operations team.
Definitely. I mean, I've noticed that you guys have been on it, like making sure that it runs smoothly and making sure like that you guys perfect it. I mean, you guys have been doing super, super well. So big
Thank
shout
you.
out. No problem. So was there any idea or game influence that led to the cold collar minigame?
Yes. The cold color minigame was really exciting when we kind of cracked that. Um, at first, so there was some existing Toontown Online concept art. It was just like a single picture that showed like a cold color office with a lot of frozen things. And so that was probably like the base of like thinking about what a cold color office could be. But the mini game itself, like the way that it's played, it's very much inspired by, I think a lot of us have that person in our lives, whether it's a friend or a coworker whose house or office is just inexplicably like freezing. Like they just keep their thermostat on like 60 or something, or lower. and so especially in offices, something that's kind of like a common trope that you can see. You can even see it in like TV shows. Like there's an episode of The Office that has an episode kind of about this, where people are fighting over the thermostat temperature. Like some people
That's like
it
my
colder.
house.
Yeah, exactly. So some people like it colder, some people like it warmer, and obviously the cold callers love to keep their offices absolutely frigid. And we wanted to find a fun way to like turn that sort of like subconscious battle that exists in the real world. It's not like a real battle, but it's like people going back and forth on the temperature. We wanted to turn it into a real battle and like toonify it with the ice skating and like the kind of tug of war of like the cold colors are turning the temperature down, but the toons are turning it up, and everything's kind of melting away. And it was when that came about, as we like started talking about that idea, it was a real breakthrough of like, oh yeah, that's the mini game we need to develop. Because there was one other mini game that we were considering at the time that was going to be Mr. Hollywood based, and that one we didn't flesh out quite as much. But the original thought for it is that you would have been in some sort of like backstage area of sorts, like maybe trying to like shine the spotlight on cogs, or I don't know exactly what it would have looked like, but it was going to be almost like a roller coaster kind of thing, where you'd be going through this backstage area on a maintenance cart and fighting Mr. Hollywoods along the way. But we just couldn't crack that idea. It didn't fit so naturally in the same way that the cold collar cubicles did. So that's the one that we ended up going for, and I'm definitely happy that we did that one instead.
I love that you guys did that. That's so funny. I mean, and I think everybody can relate to that. So that's pretty cool.
For sure.
So is there any chance of other Sellbots having floors of their own besides just cold collars and movers and shakers?
It's a great question. I would say, like, I would never say never to anything like that, because ultimately, what we want to work on as the Toontown Rewritten team is what people who play Toontown Rewritten want to see. Like, this is a town that we're all living in. It's a big virtual town, and if we are the Toon Council, so to speak, then it's our job to listen to the citizens of Toontown and hear what they want to see. So if people want to see more floors in Sellbot field offices, maybe it'll happen one day. But I think it's safe to say that we're going to be taking a break from field offices of any sort for a while to explore what other types of ideas we could implement, because there's sure like a heck of a lot of ideas that people have for different things in the game. There's, of course, big questions that haven't been answered yet, like what's under the cloud or what's inside of the executive office tower. And so, yeah, it kind of ties back into the community feedback. We're listening to see what people want to see from us next. And it certainly could be more types of field offices, whether it's for different departments or extra mini games in the Sellbot field office in the future, if that's something that people want to see.
Definitely. And I always like to encourage people to go into the Toontown Rewritten Discord and leave feedback. I love to encourage people. So
For sure.
that leaves me to my last question. What's next for Toontown Rewritten?
That is a really big question. And I love that you asked it, because I can say right now we aren't done with Sellbot Taskforce yet. There's more to come in regards to the Sellbot Taskforce. Like I know people have seen on the website on release, you can get up to 139 laugh points right now. However, there is meant to be a 140th laugh point in the future. So we haven't forgotten about that. And, there's a couple people, decent amount of people have made it to the end of the Sellbot Taskforce Toon Tasks line, and maybe realized like, hey, that didn't quite feel done yet. Like, it feels like there's more to explore there. So there is more to come for the Sellbot Taskforce. There's not a time frame for that yet, but it's something you can definitely keep an eye out for, and something that we're actively working on. And beyond that, we're having a ton of discussions as a team. Basically, the whole month of January, after we got back from our holiday breaks, was dedicated to asking that big question of what are we going to do next. And we've had lots of brainstorming meetings. We've had a bunch of pitches that like different team members have put together, because ultimately, like, we don't want the future of Toontown to be decided by one person. We want it to be decided by the community, and something that could be heard from anywhere. So our team members have been listening to community feedback and have put together pitches based off of some of the feedback that we've seen. And it's really anyone on our team who can put together a pitch. You don't have to be a programmer or an artist. You can be a moderator or from customer support or something like that. And you can pitch ideas, and that's what we're going through right now. So we're hoping that soon we'll know at least what is going to be the next big thing for Toontown Rewritten. It'll likely be a little while before we tell anyone else what that's going to be, because, you know, like I said earlier, we definitely announced Sellbot field offices too early, and we don't want to repeat our past mistakes. But you can be certain that there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes to figure out what it's going to be next. And I'm really excited because there have been some super exciting ideas that people have pitched, and I think whatever it ends up being, you know, we're in good hands with the Toontown Rewritten team, and all of the cool, crazy concepts that they have that we might be working on.
Joey, Ralph from podcast Rewritten. How are you?
Hey, Ralph. I'm doing good. How are you?
Good to talk to you finally. Hey, this is kind of a bonus kind of surprise question. Okay.
Sure.
I am about to do my first Sellbot field office. Give me one piece of advice.
Man, your first Sellbot field office.
My first Sellbot field office. I'm a pretty new player. Annie has been teaching me the game over about the past, 6 months now. And so like I've got a little bit of experience. I'm about to jump in, ready to do it. One piece of advice. What do you got for me, Joey?
I feel like the most important piece of advice for surviving a Sellbot field office is I'm going to cheat a little bit because it's kind of two pieces of advice in one. But it's pay attention to your team members and pay attention to the boss. We designed Sellbot field offices. It is really, really important to work together. We wanted it to feel like working together was like a magnetic thing that you not only like have to do to succeed, but you want to do it because it's just the more fun way of playing. And then the boiler is really tricky. It's not like a traditional cog where it kind of has like a standard set of attacks. The boiler, without giving away too much, is very cunning. It can kind of sense the tide of battle, and it can change as the battle goes on. And it's really important to pay attention to what the boiler is doing, because it could have some serious ramifications if you make the wrong move.
Great advice. So pay attention to my teammates and pay attention to the boss.
Yes.
I love it.
I completely agree. That's great advice.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Of course. And best of luck on your first field office.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So this is a very exciting time for Toontown Rewritten, I would say.
It is. It really is. I think some people may have even been worried about what Toontown Rewritten was going to look like after Sellbot field offices, because it's been what we've been building up to for so many years. Right. It's kind of like, is it going to feel different or less exciting afterwards? Right. And I think that from just the way that things have been going with the team and the way that we've been putting these ideas together for what's next, I would dare say that there's never been a more exciting time, at least being like working on the team, because we also have so many things that we learned from Sellbot field offices that is going to make our next content even better, and hopefully not take as long, but we'll see how it goes. So we'll have to check back in a future podcast when we have a bit more to share there.
Definitely, Joey. And I mean, you guys are doing a fantastic job. And, we just want to thank you for checking in with us, and we look forward to checking in again. So
yeah, thank you all so much. Thanks for having me, Ralph and Annie.
No problem.
Thank you, Joey.
All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Well, that's awesome. It sounds like the entire Toontown Rewritten crew was extremely busy with this update, and they continue to be extremely busy because they have some things planned for down the road.
I agree. That was very exciting to get some insight, and I just want to thank Joey Ziolkowski again for doing that interview with us.
Joey Zio, thank you so much, Uncle Joey.
Thank you, Uncle Joey.
Uncle Joey. So I kind of popped in and I asked him for a tip for somebody doing their first Sellbot. And it was pay attention to your teammates and pay attention to the boss. And I think that was excellent advice.
Definitely, because when you first get in there, you only have 2 gag tracks. So if you're given like trap and squirt, I mean, you really...
You know that you
Yeah.
kind of, right, you really need to pay attention to your teammates.
Definitely.
And you've got to work as a team. That's the whole thing. You have to
Right.
work as a team.
I love that they did it that way.
Yeah, I think it's excellent. So we're in the month of February.
Yep.
February is
Valentine's
Day. When does that begin?
I think we read February 9th to the 16th, but I just got my Valentine's catalog.
You already got your Valentine's catalog?
I did lots of Valentine's shopping.
So what is there, like special clothing items?
Yes, there's special clothing items.
Is
There's
there any
special there's flower bouquets and there is wallpaper.
Wallpaper.
Yeah, and like what's the thing called? So don't make fun of
Wainscoting?
me, but yes, there's
Yes.
special wainscoting.
Special Valentine's wainscoting.
It's beautiful.
And now, when you have a party, there's special Valentine's stuff like that.
Yes, so I'm not sure if
Party
that started
favors?
right now, but I assume, like the Toontown Rewritten Week, he said, it will start the 9th through the 16th.
Okay.
I'm going to have to check that out, but it did say it will start the 9th through the 16th, and I assume that would be true because Valentine's is February 14th.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Do you have anything else to add?
That's all I got, but that interview was super exciting.
I'm
still living off of that.
And that was actually Joey Z's second appearance on Podcast
Yes, so
Rewritten.
his first appearance with us was our 3rd episode.
Episode 3, right.
If you all want to go listen to that.
That was a great interview as well.
And you can listen to all our interviews on our YouTube channel, which is called Podcast Rewritten, of course. And we have a special playlist. So you can click on our playlist,
Right.
and it's the interview playlist.
Or they can find, just all of our episodes on Apple Podcasts and Spotify,
Spotify.
and Google Podcasts,
Podcasts.
and so many other. Well,
So many.
pretty much wherever you get your podcasts from, you'll find us.
Right.
But we are also on the big ones: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
Yep.
and I guess that's it for this week.
That's it, you guys. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Bye.